What if the greatest gift a father could give his children wasn't something material, but something far deeper, something that could shape their entire life? In today's Father's Day episode, we're going to look at a quote that answers that question. Welcome to the Knowledge Gumbo Podcast, where we mix together timeless wisdom and thought provoking stories using quotes, sayings, proverbs, and book passages, primarily by Black women. But today we have an exception, and I am your curious minded host, Alicia Thomas. This is your space for gaining knowledge, having meaningful discussions about history, culture, and life lessons with splashes of humor. Let's get spicy. The greatest thing a father can do for his children is to love their mother. Anageth Garcia Untalan. She is a celebrated Filipino author and educator, and she draws from the rich history of her Filipino cultural heritage and personal experiences. And she teaches on the concept of the ripple effect of love that happens within families. When we look at this quote, it hits different. I think that's one of the reasons why I chose it, because we don't think of it. We think that parents should always put their children first. And there are certain situations where the children have to come first if one or the other parents are not good for the children, that present a problem, they're, abusive, whether it's physical or verbal or emotional. But the basis of a family is a husband and a wife. That's your foundation, and everything should come from that. And as we look at fathers, great fathers, what they do is they love the mother of their children. And this is kind of across the board from a standpoint of whether you're a father that's married to the mother of your children, whether you're not married, whether you were never married. How a father treats the mother of his children has an effect on the children and on the family as a whole. And I think we as Black women need to hold men accountable without beating them over the head with it. We have to be more verbal because we have a tendency to say, well, if you're not going to do what you need to do, I'm going to go do what I going to do, and I don't need you, and my children don't need you. But children need a father, whether you're in a relationship or not. And he needs to honor you, but you need to return the favor and honor him. Because what I like to do personally, when I see good fathers, especially if, I'm spending a lot of time with different people and I know they're a good father, I like to celebrate them on Father's Day. I like to send them a card. I like to bake for them because I appreciate that they're doing what they're supposed to do. And then you have people arguing or other women arguing, well, why should we celebrate them for doing what they're supposed to do? Hello, Mother's Day. We we celebrate you for doing what you're supposed to do. You can't find a place to get a reservation, get a meal on Mother's Day. It's crickets when it comes to Father's Day. And I think we have an obligation to honor our fathers for the people that are doing what they're supposed to do. Maybe if we look at the other side of the coin, if we celebrated fathers more, if we encouraged them more of them would do what they're supposed to do. More of them would seek out help when they didn't have fathers to teach them how to be one, that they would desire and seek to be a better husband, if that's the relationship, and a better father. We can't change anybody. You can't go into a relationship thinking, one, he has potential and I'm going to change him. The only thing we can do as Black women is inspire by us working to be better people, better humans, better mothers, better wives, whatever the relationship is. And they see how we're working and we're not tearing them down while we're working. We're just working hard, and inspire them that they want to make the changes that they need to make. So as we approach Father's Day, I just think that we need to tip our cap to the fathers that are doing what they're supposed to do. And then we really celebrate those that are going beyond helping just their children to being father figures for other children, whether it's through being a coach, whether it's being a listening ear to the children who come visit their children, their children's friends. Is your house that house in the neighborhood where all the kids want to congregate because they feel safe, because they feel heard, because they feel understood, because they feel that love that's in that house? And I know women don't want to admit it, but there's a power and a presence that a man brings. It doesn't diminish any single mother, because single mothers have been doing it. But unless the father passed away, there should be a man in the life of every child. And men need to step up for other people when it doesn't take away from their families. But we need to celebrate the ones that are doing what they're supposed to do. When was the last time you brought your dad flowers? When was the last time you gave him something other than a tie or some underwear or some socks? Do you really think about your father when you're buying gifts on Father's Day? Or do you just go for the standard, okay, whatever shirt is on sale at Kohl's or JCPenney's? Or if you got a little more money, you go to Needless Markup and see what they got on sale. It's just, we need to put more thought into fathers, into Father's Day, into celebrating them, and not necessarily always trying to crucify them or make them into what we want them to be. Because there is power in having a father or a father figure in the home. It teaches our children how to love. That next generation becomes better because they had that example in the home. And there are going to be things that your children see in your relationship that they don't like, and they say, I'm not going to do that. But the majority of it is going to be good, and they're going to learn how to have relationships based on what they see. Because as they say, more is caught than taught, because you can tell them all day, but until they see how you handle arguments, until they see how you love one another, you go out on dates, how they see if it's a divorce situation or you've never been married, do you still respect one another? Is it always an argument every time there's a kid exchange? They're watching, they're learning. And we have to honor the fathers of our children. We shouldn't put them on a pedestal, because whenever we put anyone on a pedestal, They will fall off. Nobody's perfect, but we have to give them their due, give them their respect, give them their honor. And then at the same time, when they make mistakes, we have to extend grace. The same grace that we want, that we expect when we don't stand up and do the right things. Children learn about respect. They learn about communication. They learn how to handle a partnership, a friendship. Hopefully, that's what they're seeing between their father and mother. Because, like I said, those little eyes, they're always watching. Those little ears, they're always listening. And you can look at it from the standpoint of it's not just the children. When you have a solid relationship, like I said, whether it's marriage or if it's just how you get along as as you co-parent, there are other adults who are watching as well who are trying to navigate the same pathways, and they didn't have good examples, and they're looking for examples, people that they can be real with, people that they can have conversations with and ask questions of how do I argue effectively? How do I love on my spouse? How do I honor my spouse? How do I cherish my spouse? Because that's a word we don't use often. And especially, I think, coming from women towards our spouses or the fathers of our children, do we cherish them? When was the last time we showed that kind of emotion, those kind of feelings? When did we tell them that in a way that they understand and they get it? That we're just not throwing it out there like a crappy romance novel, that we really mean what we're saying, that we appreciate everything that they do, but not just what they do, we appreciate who they are as a person. It's one of the reasons I do really enjoy Father's Day. I do enjoy sending out cards to the men in my life that are great fathers, to the men in my life who also extend themselves to help out other children, who extend themselves to coach different teams, to go into detention centers, to teach young men that that's not the way that they want to go. To the men in my life who love on my friends, my family, you know, my cousins or whatever, and they love them well and they take care of them. They're a shelter, they're a reflection of God's love for the church for them. It's important to me that I honor that. It's important to me that I tell them, if nobody else is looking, I'm looking. And I see what you're doing, and I appreciate you. You are important. You have value, and you've made an impact on many, many lives. And we don't tend to tell these men that, and we should. And the the quote, like I said previously, is reflects a common sentiment in Filipino culture because they view the family as a source of strength and stability. And the fathers, love and respect for the mothers is seen as crucial to their sense of fostering harmony and as well as creating a warm, loving environment. And we have to look at this too from the standpoint of her theme of the ripple effect of love within the family. It looks at it from the standpoint of being a cornerstone in the philosophy. And there's a saying or a thought process of, if you want to tell me how well a society is doing, look at how they treat their women, treat their children, and treat their elders. And that will give you an indication of how healthy or unhealthy a society is. Let's look at the question of the week. Think about your favorite TV or movie family. What lessons about love and partnership can you take from them? For me, um, being a Gen Xer, it's all about the Cosby Show. And one of the things that I really was the core of why I love the Cosby Show, I still love the Cosby Show to this day, is Cliff's love for Claire. He was her biggest cheerleader. He was her biggest support. His character never put his career above hers, as that it's not as important. When she had legal stuff, he stepped up and took care of the kids. If you remember the episode with the print from her family, they stepped up to bring some of that history back home, bring that history back into the house. It was a lovely give and take and balance of how they were playful with each other, how they dated each other. That's what attracted me. It wasn't just a matter of fact that, he was a doctor and she was a lawyer and everybody was saying, oh, that's not real. We've had doctors and lawyers in the Black community for over a century. And we have to understand that is not an anomaly. We just didn't talk about it. Those stories just weren't told. But we have decades and decades of Black lawyers and Black physicians. And we need to honor both. But for me, that was the key favorite TV family. But also, kind of in a close second, was the Parenthood. I love them as a couple. I love their whole family and how they did things and how he supported his wife going back to school to get her degree, to do what she needed to do, and how everyone helped one another. That was another great TV series. And if you haven't seen it, go back and check it out. I think you would really love it. Robert Townsend did great in that show, running that show, writing for that show. Suzanne Douglas as a mother, top notch. That's it for this week. This podcast is recorded audio and visual by Ecamm. Ecamm helps you show up, organized and structured for your meetings, podcasts, live streams, and other offline recordings. To find out more about Ecamm Live, click the link in the description below. Thank you for spending time in our gumbo kitchen. Please leave a positive review and make a comment about the question of the week. We are working on a Substack that will give you an area to have those discussions. It'll be coming soon. But remember, you are enough. Our stories and our voices, they matter. To all the fathers out there, I wish you a blessed and happy Father's Day. To the whole audience, you know that you are always welcome to pull up a chair, bring a friend, because there's always room for one more at the table. The gumbo is hot and made with love. And we'll see you next week. Gather round, y'all. Gather round, y'all. It's time to groove. Ooh, yeah.